Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Joe's Corner. My name is Joe, and this is my friend Zack. I'm actually bumming with him in Southern California right now, so yeah.
Yeah,
Doing good though.
Welcome to the good life.
Yeah.
The new Joe's Corner.
Anyways, some of the recent spoilers for Vingolf 3 have come out, and they're pretty interesting stuff. We just got to look at the rulers, but we're going to do kind of a rundown with what we think is good, what we think is bad, and about dragons. Your dragon, yeah. And so that's going to be pretty good. So let's get started. I have Zack here. He plays Magic. He's kind of new to Force of Will, so he'll fit on the channel perfectly.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so first we're going to talk about the Black Dragon. Black Dragon ruler.
The Guardian of Darkness.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this card?
I kind of dig him. He's pretty interesting. I think his all the dragons have the mechanic basically landfall from magic. It's called Resonance in Force of Will. Whenever a stone hits your field, their effect activates. The dragon is -1/-1, so he's pretty nice.
And this effect is both from when you call it or by any means
Yeah.
necessary. So any summoning from extra resonators will be fine.
I think the -1/-1 is nice. It takes care of a couple things like basically monkeys, I guess. It can make trades if you're swinging into the enemy. It can make trades a little bit easier. But overall, I'm just I like it, but it's not really that great of a landfall ability.
How do you feel about the J activate?
I definitely I like it, but the banish resonators, your enemy gets to choose. I don't know. What do you think? Coming from Magic.
I mean, in comparison to other J rulers,
Yeah.
it's not the greatest. It has that nice initial effect. It's really balanced in between the other dragons at this point. Both the attack and defense is on par to be comparing the others. The banishing too is great. It's nothing too crazy. It's a flying dragon at this point. It's not going to be the end all take all when you activate.
Maybe probably for 5 minutes, maybe a little too costly.
It saves you a card. If you are playing a lot of, because it is black, you can play a lot of discard resonators and chants. You can control their hand and all of a sudden, boom, swing with nothing in your hand and take out maybe the last 2 resonators. The downside is they get to choose.
Yeah.
But it's not the greatest.
It's a decent dragon. Next, we're gonna talk about the Wind Dragon, the Green Dragon.
Yes, this one's interesting. This is the only dragon that doesn't actually directly affect the opponent's field. How do you feel?
Well, a lot of the other dragons have a lot of good board clear, and that's something that this dragon lacks. But he has a really good ramp ability. His landfall is whenever you get a land, target resonator gains tap for any type of mana, which is nice.
Yeah, it's good. The downside is you have to tap your resonator.
Yeah.
So it's really good in the initial ramp. You can have a lot of low cost. Maybe they summon, they draw a card. It's great, but you can't attack with them. You can't activate it on your opponent's turn unless you somehow have a way that a stone comes in on the opponent's turn. It's not the craziest ramp, but he has a lot different J activate. How do you think about that?
I kind of like it. I think it brings in two 1/1 elves, which is okay. It gives all of your resonators the ability to tap for any mana, which can be really devastating next turn because you could have Tama out or any other kind of trash resonators that can all tap for upwards of maybe 10 mana. You just plus the 5 you activated them with. But again, it's impactful, but I don't think it really, like Zack said, it doesn't really affect any of the opponent's board, so you're kind of playing your own game.
The one good thing it has is it has the ability to splash into anything. You could mind game in that aspect of splash a little bit of red, splash a little bit of black, because you can just summon a stone and have any resonator on the field trigger that extra color that you need. If you have 2 colors, then it's kind of hard. You can't really stack double red, can't do blue-red. It's just a green one. Then the stones will have to be that way. But it gives you that option. It does have that extra ramp, so you can summon things out of different turns.
It's really great for splashing.
It's good for splashing, good for that little bit of ramp. Nothing too crazy though, especially his J activate. I don't feel threatened at his opponent when they J activate. Like 2 100s that are just mana, fine. It's definitely no Ninetales, but you know.
Okay, so next we're gonna talk about the water dragon, blue dragon. You can start with this.
Well, I don't know if any of you guys have played Magic before, but its landfall ability is basically Scry 1. It allows you to look at the top card of your deck, and if you like it, you keep it on top. If you don't like it, you put it at the bottom. This, in my opinion, is one of the strongest non-board, interactions that you can have. It gives you knowledge, which, especially in a blue color, that's pretty good.
Well, blue and Force Will is a little bit different. Like, it's still good. It's still, you can still draw a lot of stuff in blue, but you're thinking of Magic Blue. Magic Blue is a lot better, but
darn. But either way, knowledge is typically power in card games.
You get knowledge, you get like pretty good consistency, and I think the best thing about this is that it's just kind of like tacked on there. Like, it's gonna have every turn you get a Scry 1. Like it's pretty much free. A lot of people know how good Shion's ability is. You could run her, her Regalia maybe with this, filter stuff. So you can Scry 1. You don't like it, put it at the bottom. I guess you can't really Scry the next one, but you could put something else in the bottom.
But there's no mill in this deck, and by mill I mean take the top card of the opponent's deck and put it in the graveyard. There's none of that in Force of Will yet.
That we can think of. I can't think of any right now.
I definitely can't. I thought blue was magic. But how do you think about the J activate?
I like it. I like it as a finisher. Like, it's 5 mana. It's similar to Rising from the Depths, which is another similar card. Rising is a little bit better if you're doing ancient magic stuff. But I definitely like this as like you J activate, you flip over, and you just swing with everything you have because they don't have anything on the board.
Yes, you could do that, or you could use it as a defensive.
Yeah.
Let's say you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Let's say they're playing the Wind Dragon and they just ramped up, and all of a sudden they J activated. They have those extra 1/1s in the field. There's a lot there. You can use it to. It's not getting rid of it. It's more stalling. But let's say they had a lot of special chance that they did to get this stuff up. Let's say they buffed up a lot of Resonators. You can now remove them, all that buffs, and just go back to the opponent's hand. So it has that duality of both aggressive and defensive. I think that's.
I think it's not bad at 5 mana. And we'll talk about the other great thing about the dragons at the post discussion. But I like it. I like the water dragon. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and attack and defense is once again similar to the rest.
We're gonna go to fire dragon next.
Yes, the fire dragon.
I think the fire dragon is probably the best. I'm really digging what he does.
Yes, he has the ability to landfall, do 200 damage to target resonator. That by itself can clear a decent amount. Nothing too crazy.
The main thing I like about that is that you basically call a stone, you ping something, and then that stone pays for Demon Flame. And you can kill pretty much anything, which is great.
Yes.
Pretty good combo.
It's slightly different than the Darkness Dragon. It does 100 more damage, but you don't have that less of attack if they try to exchange attacks. It has the ability to do a lot on your attack, not so much on theirs. You can't really, once again, landfall. It's not like you can spend 1 and do 200 damage. It's only when you have a stone come out.
Yeah.
But his J activate ability.
Yeah, it's really great. It's basically 1,000 damage to their board. Anything that dies goes to the remove from game, which is really great for some stuff that hits the graveyard and activates effects. Like it clears out monkeys, which is nice. I really dig it. Also, there's a pretty cool interaction with Levitine. If you tap Levitine, during your turn, then you untap it and tap it again. That board clear is going to deal 1,400 damage to everything on their board.
Yes, because the damage works on the J activator. Yeah. Only when you flip it, though.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Obviously, it doesn't work on the front side.
Well, that also has
nice,
it has swiftness though. Yeah. You can also swing again.
And that's a 5 mana for a great board wipe, like 1,400 damage, even 1,200 damage. If you have just drew the Levitine, is really great because it hits a lot of those threats like vipers and griffins and other stuff.
Mhm.
1400 will hit and kill like a lot of stuff.
Plus, also if they're rested, you can swing into stuff.
Yeah.
So potentially, if it was at a 2000, you can J activate, but then have the swiftness to attack it if it's rested,
Yeah.
and if they have to have something to stop you
Look
otherwise.
at you learning rules fast. Yeah, no, I definitely dig it. You know, it hits a lot of stuff and clears the way for a sort of big swiftness dragon.
Yeah, it could be the face or whatever you want.
So yeah, last we're gonna talk about the white dragon.
Yes, my
Zack's
personal
favorite.
favorite
Yeah,
actually.
he likes it.
But I just love free aggression. This landfall ability allows you to give one of your resonators 200.
We're totally gonna mess people up with calling it landfall, which is funny.
Yes, it's not technically
Is
landfall.
it
That is a magic term.
resonance, which
I do apologize.
It's pretty
but
funny. It's funny.
yes.
Okay, good. Keep going.
No. I mean, it's basically just helps you with pure aggression. It allows those smaller resonators to be a little bit beefier. Only one, unless you summon multiple lands. You could have an interesting land thing where you summon a bunch of stones, not land, once again. But it allows you to buff them up. It's kind of nifty. However, it's J-Activate, my personal favorite because it's just the complete FU to everything. Including your side, it destroys everything. That might not be good to some players, but against anyone who has any type of big field or mass ramp, it's really good. It allows you to even just swing in with a few of yours, and if that didn't go favorably for you, you can just J-activate and boom, everything's
It's
gone.
basically a full clear reset, 5 mana, it's pretty good. Obviously, it doesn't hit J rulers or magic stones. But
No, but then you also have a dragon.
That would do. Yeah,
So-
exactly, you get your J.
Yeah, the downside obviously it hurts your stuff, and you probably won't do much else that turn. You could also use that regalia to have the swiftness, so technically you can activate them and then use that and swing.
Later.
Probably wouldn't run that in this deck. You're not really activating him until you need to completely wipe everything. You're not going to be using your ruler as a typical attack.
I like something that Zack, we were talking about this earlier, about how it kind of also forces your opponent to maybe play slower.
Yes.
Because they're scared of that wrath effect that's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's something that, like, especially if it's like a wind dragon type, right, where they want to ramp, they want to have a bunch of stuff on the field. You could just be holding back and like, sure, I'll take 300 damage, I'll take 500 damage, keep summoning more, I don't mind. And then they ramp out their big guy and it's like, boom, J-activate, it's gone.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
And as there's not a lot that can stop it. I think there's one, like, I think Kaguya 3.0 can stop it, but any other like automatic abilities can't really be stopped, which is great.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I like the white dragon. I think the fire dragon is a little better.
The downside is his 200 ability.
You lose.
It's very understandable. The opponent knows straightforward what you're going to do. You're going to buff up a certain resonator because you can't call your stone as an instant.
Yeah.
You have to do it during your main phase. So you're going to buff it up before you attack, obviously, and they'll know. They'll probably see it coming. They can look at your field and figure it out. So that is not, it's not a huge threat. It's my personal favorite because I just like bigger things.
Yeah.
But
I dig it.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about kind of I guess the end game, like why some of the dragons are cool, why they might not fit, and why some might be weak. I think one of the cool things about them that Force of Will, I think they did this in Battle for Ataractia also. They started introducing like enter abilities because Black Moonbeam was so prevalent. The weird things about this dragon is that you throw them out, they get their effect done, and then if they die, they die. They flip back and you keep getting resonance stuff.
mm-hmm.
And I think that's pretty valuable. Like you don't really want these guys for their attack damage. You just want their enter effects.
To a degree, some obviously, like the Wind Dragon, you do want his ability, because it's just a better version of his front side. But yeah, I agree. To the most part, it's pretty good.
So if you're gonna rank the dragons, how'd you put them?
Rank them. Well, obviously I'm biased with the light dragon. I think that's good.
Light dragon's top.
The fire dragon, that's pretty good. It gives you a lot of aggression, and I like aggression. And also has that duality of completely removing those cards if you kill them with his ability. That's good. There's a decent amount of fetch cards. Maybe not crazy, but it allows you to have that board clear that I like. I like being able to just have the opponent fear me flipping it.
Yeah, the wrath effects are pretty nice from these dragons.
Yeah, then very close to that, I would say the water dragon, the blue dragon, because knowledge is power. You can scry. You can have more favorable chances of drawing. You can be like, yes, I actually do want that, or no, I don't, and hope that the next one is actually what you do want. Yu-Gi-Oh! Heart of the Cards. But then Darkness Dragon, interesting. There's not really mill in this game, so it's not the craziest. I think if there was more mill, there's discard, but I think there's more ability to just completely screw over what the opponent was doing. I think it would be better. That way his activate of making them banish 2, it would be even better. It's not that bad, but there's nothing too exciting about it. If they have more than 2, then like you don't even get to choose which ones they want, or get banished. And last one, I don't like the ramp effect. I don't like the ability of making your resonators tap for mana, or will. I can see how it could be good, but from a personal standpoint, you would have to mess with your own will costs, and it would be interesting. It wouldn't be as consistent as all these other dragons can be.
Right.
Well, what about you?
Wait, probably one more time.
Well, what about you?
Well, Zach, glad you asked. I think I have a similar top to bottom as you. I think I'd put Fire Dragon on top of Light Dragon. That's kind of like how I like my dragon porn. But yeah, I think the Fire Dragon's a little bit better. Light Dragon is, I just like that it hits their board more. And the combos with Levantine, like, it's pretty nice. We were talking about it. He would probably run 2 Levantine. I would think 3.
For the Fire Dragon, yeah.
Would be good.
I wouldn't 4 is still too much.
Yeah, I think 4 is a little too much.
Just wasting cards that you draw.
Because you want Levantine on those like fast J rulers that are hitting your opponent, and
but remember, you still need 5 will to J activate, so it's not like you can just have those on the field.
But if you do Fire Dragon, Light Dragon, I agree with Zack that Water Dragon is probably 3rd. The Scry is really great. The consistency that he brings every turn. I think Wind Dragon is, I agree with Zack, like really interesting. I think I'm pretty excited to see some of the decks people build out of it. There's probably like a great combo like Featsing had where you just get out Adam or Quiber like turn 3 or something. And
well, I mean, in theory you could have anything,
yeah.
So you could have every color.
And the mana ramp is kind of nice, really nice with Wind Magic. And I do think that the Darkness Dragon is probably the worst. I don't think the -1/-1 is going to come into effect enough to where it's going to matter. It doesn't kill anything really.
It's a monkey.
And but you could play like Valentina and get -1/-1s off of like Scorns or Nameless Mist and stuff like that. So I don't know. And I just don't think the -1/-1 is that great, and the Banish 2 is not enough for 5 mana.
That's fair. Yeah. Really interested to see what people make out of these though.
Yeah. Do I think they're gonna be top tier? Maybe. I think Fire Dragon is could be playable. Fire Dragon, Light Dragon, Water Dragon, I think are playable.
Well, definitely, Water Dragon is definitely playable.
Yeah.
Whether it's gonna be a top tier, maybe not, but it's definitely gonna have a top end deck.
When I first saw Water Dragon, I thought it was Reflective Rain's ability again, which I was pretty excited about. But now it's just Scry, which is a little less good.
Just Scry.
Yeah. Anyways, those are our thoughts on the dragons. These dragons are also pretty cool. So.
Yeah. Tell us what you think in the
I'm
comments.
pretty excited though. Vingolf 3 looks like it's going to shaping up to be pretty cool. Definitely a lot better rulers than the previous 2 Vingolf sets, besides Vlad, who's pretty awesome. But yeah, thanks for watching.
Bye.